Today we are going to discuss Introduction to the General Pharmacology. Now we'll see the specific learning objectives for this general pharmacology. First, we have to define and describe principles of pharmacology and pharmacotherapeutics. Then, describe the advantages and disadvantages of pharmacology and pharmacotherapeutics. Then, define and describe evidence based medicine and therapeutic drug monitoring. So, these are the SLOs or specific learning objectives for this lecture. Now, we'll begin with what is mean by pharmacology. We all know pharmacology is the science of drugs. Pharmacology is the science of drug, or in Greek, pharmakon means drug and logos means discourse in. Or in simple words, we can say pharmacology is the branch of science which deals with drugs. Now it is defined as how chemical agent affect living processes. How chemical agent affect living processes, that means hormones, neurotransmitters, growth factors, drugs, toxic agents in the environment. Then pharmacology, when we study pharmacology, two things are important: efficacy and safety of a drug. Efficacy and safety of drug. What is mean by efficacy, what is mean by safety, what is mean by potency, we'll see these things in latter part. Rudolf Buckim, who founded the first Institute of Pharmacology in 1847 in Germany. Rudolf Buckim, who founded the first Institute of Pharmacology in 1847. So that's why this Rudolf Buckim was coined as father of pharmacology. After that, Oswald Skimberg, regarded as the father of modern pharmacology. Then, after that, the next thing comes that is in your mind is the drug. In French, drogue means a dry herb, and that's how this word is coined. Now, what is the meaning of drug? A drug is a single active chemical entity present in a medicine that is used for a diagnostic purpose, preventive, and for the therapeutic purpose. What is drug? It's a chemical entity which is present in a medicine, which is given in the garb of medicine. And what is the use of this chemical entity? For the diagnostic purpose, for the preventive purpose, and for the therapeutic purpose, or for the treatment of diseases. But what is the definition of drug as per WHO? In 1966, they define the drug as any substance or product which is used or intended to be used to modify or to explore physiological systems or pathological state for the benefit of recipient. What is WHO definition of drug? Drug is any substance or product that is used or intended to be used to modify or to explore the physiological system or to modify the pathological states for the benefit of recipient. Now there are two branches of pharmacology, two main branches, pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamics. In simple words, pharmacokinetics means movement of drug, kinetics means movement of drug, and pharmacodynamics means actions of drug. So pharmacokinetic, in simple words, we can say what body does to the drug, and pharmacodynamics, what drug does to the body. In pharmacokinetics, there are four processes: absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. In pharmacodynamics, it is related with the mechanism of action or body response to the drug, and it also includes the adverse effect of the drug. Now we'll see some definitions. Pharmacotherapeutics. Pharmacotherapeutics means it is the application of the pharmacological information. It is the application of the pharmacological information together with the knowledge of disease. It is the application of pharmacological information together with the knowledge of disease for its prevention, mitigation, or cure of a disease. Then clinical pharmacology. Clinical pharmacology, it is the scientific study of drug in humans. Experimental pharmacology means it is the scientific study of drug in animals. Clinical pharmacology means it is the scientific study of drug in humans. Experimental pharmacology means it is the scientific study of drugs in animal. Right? It includes pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic investigations in healthy volunteers as well as in patients in case of clinical pharmacology. Now, when we say the word chemotherapy, chemotherapy, it is the treatment of infectious diseases or malignancy. In chemotherapy, infectious diseases as well as malignancy is included with specific drugs which have selective toxicity for the infecting organisms or malignant cells with minimal effect on the host cells. In chemotherapy, infectious diseases as well as malignancy. In infectious diseases, we have to kill the infecting organism, and in case of malignancy, we have to destroy the malignant cells with minimal effect on the host cell. Now, pharmacy. Pharmacy is the art and science of compounding and dispensing drug. In simple words, what we can say, pharmacy is the art and science of compounding and dispensing drugs or to prepare the suitable dosage form for easy administration of drug to the man or animals. It includes collection. It starts with collection, identification, purification, isolation, synthesis, standardization, and quality control of the medicinal substance. All these processes are important in pharmacy. The large scale manufacturers of drug is called pharmaceutics. Then toxicology. Toxicology it is the study of poisonous effects of drug and other chemicals. It is the study of poisonous effects of drug and other chemicals. Other chemicals, likewise household chemicals, environmental pollutants, industrial, agriculture, homicidal, with emphasis on detection, prevention, and treatment of poisoning. But the important thing of toxicology, it includes the study of adverse effects of a drug. It includes the study of adverse effects of a drug. Then after that, sources of drug. Sources of drug, particularly, they are natural, semi-synthetic, and synthetic. Natural, semi-synthetic, and synthetic. So we'll see there are some plant sources, drugs which are discovered from the herb, like morphine, digoxin, quinine, atropine, paclitaxel, reserpine. All these are the drugs which are discovered from the plant sources. Then animal sources like hormones like insulin, thyroxine, heparin, gonadotrophins, few vaccines and sera. How they are discovered from the animal sources. Then minerals like liquid paraffin, magnesium sulfate, magnesium trisilicate, ferrous sulfate. All these are from the mineral source. Microorganisms like antibiotics, antimicrobial agents like penicillin, streptomycin. Then 99% of the drug in the clinical practice are synthetic in nature. Analgesics, hypnotics, anti-cancer drugs, antimicrobials, they are synthetic in nature. Then we have some genetic engineered drugs or DNA recombinant drugs like human insulin, growth hormone, hepatitis B vaccine. These are the drugs or vaccines or hormones which are genetically engineered, or we can say they are discovered by DNA recombinant technology. Now, drug nomenclature. This drug nomenclature is very interesting. It includes three names: chemical name, generic name, and brand name. Chemical name denotes the chemical structure of a drug. It denotes the chemical structure of a drug. For example, acetyl salicylic acid is the name for aspirin and acetaminophen for paracetamol. So, what is this acetyl salicylic acid or acetaminophen? These are the chemical names for aspirin and paracetamol, right? But this, what is the problem with this chemical name? It is cumbersome and not suitable for use in prescribing. They are not preferred for prescribing, right? Now, non-proprietary name. Non-proprietary name, or you can say generic name, it is the name accepted by a competent scientific authority. For example, United States Adopted Name Council, USA Council. It's a United States Adopted Name Council. The non-proprietary names of newer drugs are kept uniform all over the world. It is uniform all over the world. Until the drug is included in pharmacopoeia, the non-proprietary name may also called as the approved name, right? Until the drug is included in the pharmacopoeia, that is called as the approved name. After it appearance in the official publication, it is called as official name. In general practice, the non-proprietary name is also called as the generic name. For example, paracetamol, ibuprofen, aspirin, diclofenac, all these are the generic names. Now, brand name or trade name or proprietary name, it is the name which is assigned by the manufacturer, pharmaceutical company. One drug may have multiple brand names. One drug may have multiple brand name. For example, paracetamol having brand names like Crocin, Febrex, Calpol. Brand name should be catchy, short, and easy to remember, and they are often suggestive. Brand names are designed to be catchy, short, easy to remember, and often suggestive. Like Lopresar, Losartan. Lopresar is the brand name for Losartan. It's suggesting drug for lowering the blood pressure. Brand names generally differ in different countries. Even the same manufacturer may market the same drug under different brand names in different countries. That depend on the pharmaceutical company. Then there are again two types of drugs, prescription and non-prescription drugs. Non-prescription drugs are also called as OTC drugs. As per drug rules, as per the drug schedules, majority of drug, including all antibiotics, must be sold in retail only against a prescription issued by a registered medical practitioner. They are called prescription drug. In India, they have been placed in the Schedule H of the Drugs and Cosmetic Rule, which is uh, given in 1945, Drugs and Cosmetic Rules. However, few drugs like simple analgesics like paracetamol, aspirin, antacids like calcium carbonate, laxatives like senna, lactulose, vitamins, ferrous salts, they are considered relatively harmless or relatively safe and can be procured without a prescription. So we call it as a non-prescription drugs or OTC drugs or over-the-counter drugs. Now we have terminologies like essential medicine or essential drugs. Essential drugs are those drugs which satisfy the priority healthcare need of the majority of the population. Essential drugs are those drugs which satisfy priority healthcare need of the majority of the population. They are selected with due regard to the public health relevance, evidence of efficacy and safety, and comparative cost effectiveness. They are selected with due regard to the public health relevance, means which diseases are common in that particular area, in that particular country, evidence on safety and efficacy, and mostly they are cost effective. Essential medicines are intended to be available at all time. It should be available at all time in adequate amount, in appropriate dosage form, with assured quality and adequate information at a price the individual and the community can afford. Means cost effectiveness is the most important thing. Most essential drugs are formulated as a single compound. They are available as a single compound. WHO brought the first essential drug list in 1977. It is updated every 2 years as per the safety and evidence, as per the health relevance, as per the data on the incidence and prevalence of a disease. The current version is the 18th WHO essential drug list and 4th WHO essential drug list for children updated in April 2019. The first National Essential Medicine List of India was prepared in 1996. The latest list contains 406 drugs. We call it as essential drugs. Then counterfeit drugs. Counterfeit drugs, it's a fake medicine. It is a fake medicine. These are illegal drugs and may be contaminated. These are illegally prepared by pharmaceutical companies and may be contaminated. It may contain wrong active ingredient, may contain no active ingredient, or may have right ingredient but in wrong dosage. So we call it as a fake drugs or fake medicine or counterfeit drugs. Then orphan drugs. What is meant by orphan drugs? Certain diseases are very rare, and if the drugs are researched, developed, and marketed for such diseases, the cost cannot be recovered by manufacturers by selling of drugs. Orphan drugs. Certain diseases are very rare, and if the drugs are researched, developed, and marketed for such diseases, cost cannot be recovered by manufacturers by selling of drugs. So no one is interested in these drugs. That's why they are called as orphan drugs. Why no one is interested? Because manufacturers cannot recover their cost by selling of drugs. Why? Because the diseases are very rare. So these drugs will be used very rarely. And high cost of production and very limited demand. This is the problem with orphan drugs. For example, digoxin antibody, Digibind, it is used for the digitalis toxicity or digoxin toxicity. Then in paracetamol antidote and acetylcysteine. So these are the drugs which are used very rarely. So we call it as orphan drugs. That's why, because no one is interested in them. Then sources of drug information. Drug Compendia. Drug Compendia, these are the compilation of information on drug in the form of monographs. What is Drug Compendia? These are compilations of information on drugs in the form of monographs without going into the theoretical concept, mechanism of action, and other aspects which help in understanding the subject. Then we have pharmacopoeias. They contain a description of chemical structure. What is pharmacopoeia? They contain the description of chemical structure, molecular weight, physical and chemical characteristics, solubility, identification and assay methods, standard of purity, storage conditions, dosage form of officially approved drugs in a country. Now, this pharmacopoeia, they are useful for the drug manufacturers and regulatory authorities, not for the doctors, not for the physicians, those who want to prescribe. They have nothing to do with chemical structure, molecular weight, and other things. They are helpful for the manufacturers like pharmaceutical company and regulatory authorities. Examples of pharmacopoeia like Indian pharmacopoeia IP, British pharmacopoeia that is BP, European pharmacopoeia, United States pharmacopoeia. These are different types of pharmacopoeia. Now formularies. Formularies, it contain indications, dose, dosage form, contraindications, precautions, adverse effects, storage of selected drugs that are available for medicinal use in country. So drugs are categorized by their therapeutic class. Some rational fixed dose combinations are also included. And these formularies can be considerably helpful for the physician, those who prescribe. So we have National Formulary of India, we have British National Formulary. So this British National Formulary also lists the brand name with cost, right? These are the formularies. Now the evidence-based medicine. Evidence-based medicine, it is the application of scientific method into the healthcare decision making. It is the application of scientific methods into the healthcare decision making. Evidence-based medicine integrate clinical experience with patient values with the best available research information. David Sackett is considered as the father of evidence-based medicine. The quality of research, that is the grade of evidence in evidence-based medicine, is considered as follows. Means when we do meta-analysis, it is considered as the best quality, and professional opinions are considered as the poorest quality or weak quality. Means in evidence-based medicine, meta-analysis has the best quality. That means in meta-analysis, what we do, more than what, two or three review articles or two or three research articles compile in a way that you can give the best results. So meta-analysis shows the best quality and professional opinions has the weak quality or poor quality. Then systemic reviews, we have randomized control trial, non-randomized control trial, cohort studies, case control studies. So they have limited value according to the meta-analysis and professional opinions. Then therapeutic drug monitoring. Therapeutic drug monitoring is a process by which dose of a drug is adjusted according to its plasma concentration. In therapeutic drug monitoring, what we do, dose of a drug is adjusted according to its plasma concentration. It is done for drugs having known correlation between plasma concentration of a drug and drug response, right? This therapeutic drug monitoring is done for the drugs for, means it tells the relation between serum level or plasma concentration of a drug and a drug response. Plasma concentration of a drug and drug response. It is done for the drugs having low therapeutic index, means which are having narrow margin of safety, like digitalis, aminoglycosides, tricyclic antidepressants, theophylline, lithium, antiepileptics, immunomodulator, antiarrhythmics. All these are the drugs which are having low therapeutic index or low safety margin or narrow therapeutic index. Therapeutic drug monitoring is done for those drugs whose effect cannot be easily measured, cannot be easily measured. Like in case of antihypertensive drugs, we can easily measure the blood pressure. In case of diabetes, we can easily measure the blood glucose level. But in case of epilepsy, we cannot measure the particular parameters. In case of bipolar mood disorder, we cannot measure the particular parameters. So this therapeutic drug monitoring is done for those drugs which are having narrow therapeutic index or low safety margin. Therapeutic drug monitoring is not done for the drugs which are activated in the body or produce active metabolites. So this is all about the introduction to the general pharmacology.